Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Arun, Senior Consultant Gastroenterologist and Hepatologist. I feel really honored to meet you all once again in my Gastro Forum. And today I am going to discuss a disease entity what is called as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is nothing but NAFLD. The term NAFLD encompasses the entire meaning of the disease. So, non-alcoholic, if you are not going to be alcoholic, if you are going to develop a fatty liver, and because of the fatty liver, if you are going to succumb with the disease, it's nothing but non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So what is it so-called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? Suppose you will be doing plenty of scan for various reasons. Suppose if you are having abdominal pain, if you are having any other issues, if you are going to do a scan in your abdomen, commonly most of the doctors will be advising you to do a routine ultrasound scan. If you are going to do a routine ultrasound scan, incidentally you will be diagnosed with a fatty liver. Most of the scan reports will be having fatty liver. That too in India, it's more common. And if you are going to have a fatty liver, doesn't mean that you don't have any pathology. It's because if you're having a fatty liver, that is the most common alarming symptom. You need to take care of your nutrition, you need to take care of your health, you need to take care of your liver. So if you are going to develop fatty liver, that is the first entity. That is also called as isolated fatty liver, which is nothing but steatosis in medical terminology, because more than 5% of your liver size which is going to be accumulated with the fat. So if the liver is going to load with plenty of fat, so what is the next stage? There are plenty of stages in that. There are almost around 3 to 5 stages in that. So first you will be getting what is called as fatty liver, and from the fatty liver you will be going into entity what is called as NASH, which is nothing but non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. And from NASH you will be entering into a stage called fibrosis, which means the liver is going to get shrunk out, and followed by you will be getting into a stage of cirrhosis, and finally you will be landing up into a dreadful hepatocellular cancer, a major cancer. So if you are going to have a fatty liver, that is the first common indication. You need to take all the necessary precautions and lifestyle modifications. What are the things you need to follow in your life? It has to be strictly encountered. See, who are all is having high risk factors to develop fatty liver? Suppose you should all remember, in a country like India, if you are obese means if you have obesity, if your body mass index, which means it's your BMI, if it is going more than 30, ideally your BMI should be less than 25. If your BMI, if it is going to be more than 30, and we are encountering some patients who is having BMI more than 40. If your BMI, if it is going to more than 40, that means if you are morbidly obese, you couldn't able to carry out your routine activities, you couldn't able to do your routine work, you couldn't able to walk, you couldn't able to sleep, you couldn't able to breathe, you will be having so much of difficulties if your BMI is too high. So that is nothing but if you are having severe obesity. And obesity is a risk factor for NAFLD. And next to that, if you are going to encounter what is called as diabetes mellitus, that means if you are having high blood sugar levels. So it is very easy to identify diabetes nowadays, and India is a capital for diabetes. So if you are having diabetes mellitus, you will be having polyuria, polyphagia, polydipsia. It's very common diagnostic entity. Polyuria means it's nothing but you will be having increased urination. Polyphagia means increased craving for food, and polydipsia means increased thirst. So if you are having increased thirst, increased urine output, always you should be remembering that you may land up in diabetes. You may have weight loss also. So if you are having diabetes mellitus, that is also a very common risk factor to be encountered in NAFLD. And if you are having any dyslipidemia, so diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol, uncontrolled cholesterol, if you are having a hypertension, these are all the major risk factors, major predisposing conditions for you to develop nothing but NAFLD, what is also called as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And for example, if you are going to take too much of alcohol, which means if you are going to take plenty of alcohol, you may land up in a condition what is called as alcoholic liver disease. And if you want to say NAFLD, your alcohol intake usually will be less than 30 grams per day, which means if you are going to consume minimal alcohol, there is also having a risk factor for that. And if you are going to consume even minimal alcohol, and if you are having coexisting pathology like obesity, hypertension, diabetes, if you are having other problems, you may develop a major disease entity of the liver, which is nothing but NAFLD. So always you should remember that in India there is always a common myth: if you are an alcoholic, you will always be landing up in a liver-related problem. But nowadays, even in abroad, even in India, next to alcohol, the other entities like diabetes, obesity, and other major problems is being frequently encountered to cause a major liver problem. That is nothing but NAFLD. So if you are going to be diagnosed with the fatty liver and followed by you will be developing next condition what is called as NASH. So NASH means you will be having low grade fever, you may have abdominal pain, you may develop a transient minimal fluid accumulation in your abdominal cavity, and you may have other coexisting problems. Your liver enzymes will go high. So that is slightly dangerous condition. So you may land up in NASH. So next to that, and finally the liver will be fibrotic, and next will be going for cirrhotic. Cirrhotic means it's completely shrunk. The liver function is totally going to go down. So once the patient is going to develop into a state of cirrhosis, the patient may land up in hepatocellular carcinoma. There are high possibility for fatty liver to go to a hepatocellular carcinoma. So always you should be well aware about all those findings. Nowadays, in the perspective of the field of gastroenterology, there are so much of modalities to diagnose fatty liver. So you are well aware about the basic ultrasound scan, and in my previous video also I have posted something about what you mean by fibroscan, the usefulness of the fibroscan. If you are going to do a fibroscan, that is nothing but if you are going to measure your liver stiffness, that is high sensitive indicator to diagnose your fatty liver. And so much of investigations in the field of gastroenterology is there to diagnose fatty liver, like MRI and so many other investigations is there. And my intention is to discuss with you all how will you manage if you are going to develop a fatty liver. So fatty liver always is an alarming symptom. You need to take care of your nutrition, health, and other problems. Okay. So how will you going to manage a fatty liver disease? I mean non-alcoholic fatty liver. So the first thing is nothing but, even if you are diabetic, if you are hypertensive, if you are having any other metabolic syndrome, always you need to take care of the nutrition. The second is you need to have a healthy lifestyle pattern, which means your calorie, your diet intake, the first nutrition, the food intake is to be strongly restricted, highly restricted. You should not take more than 2200 to 1500 calories per day. So you need to restrict your diet to such a way. And your diet should not be having high fat. As you all knowing that your diet should be, the saturated fat in your diet should be less than 10%, and you should not load your stomach with plenty of carbohydrates. You need to restrict your carbohydrate intake also. So your fat, your carbohydrate, everything has to be in a equal proportion, and you need to restrict that. And moreover, you need to target for a good weight loss. At least 7 to 10% of the weight loss has to be established over a period of at least 2 to 3 months. So for that you need to do a good physical activity. So good dieting, good physical activity. Good physical activity means good exercising. So minimum around 150 to 200 minutes in a week you need to do is cycling. You need to go for a jogging, jumping, whatever exercise, swimming or anything. So you need to do a minimum physical activity at least 150 to 200 minutes in a week. You can divide those exercise pattern in 3 to 5 sessions. But your lifestyle modification will always carry. That is the first entity. If you are taking care of your diet, if you are having a good exercise, that itself will be taking care of your fatty liver. You will definitely, your fat content in the liver will definitely going to come down, and your nutrition, your health status, everything is going to improve a lot, and you will not land up in a major cirrhosis or any other complications. So you need to take care of your nutrition. Also you need to take care of your exercising. And next to that, there are plenty of modalities of drug treatment which is available in the market. That and all, it's not needed for the general public. So mainly, so many modalities of treatment is there. So multiple drugs being tried, like we can try like metformin, pioglitazone, so many molecules. And for example, we can give vitamin E, which is easily available in the market, which is nothing but a strong antioxidant. If you are going to take a high dose of vitamin E, and if one more good thing I want to convey to you all, that if you are going to take a plenty of coffee, it means around 5 to 6 cups of coffee, that is also one more protective measures to prevent NAFLD. But if you are going to take plenty of coffee, you may land up in some other problem. But to prevent NAFLD, the coffee intake, if you are going to consume around 3 to 5 cups, more than 4 to 5 cups, so the possibility of fatty liver will be less when compared to other modalities of treatment. So you can take coffee. and you need to take care of a good diet and good exercising, and restrict your fat and restrict your carbohydrate intake, and if needed consult a gastroenterologist, take care of the drugs. They'll be giving you some few molecules, and they will work you up for if you're having what is the level of steatosis, what is the level of your fatty liver, and based upon stage 1, grade 1, 2, 3, they'll be managing in a different perspective according to your problem. So, and nowadays there are so much of bariatric procedures also available. Bariatric is nothing but if you're overweight for your age, if you're obese, if your BMI, if it is going more than 40, which means you couldn't able to walk, you couldn't able to stand, you are socially deprived. I mean, social stigma is still existing. If you're too overweight, you couldn't able to sleep, you may have cardiovascular complication, you may have lung complication, you may have actually sleep apnea, which means you couldn't able to breathe, sudden breathing difficulty, which happens in the night time also. So you may land up with this kind of complication. If you are too obese for your age, so you can do a bariatric procedures. That nowadays bariatric procedure means don't worry, you need to go for a surgical intervention. Even through the endoscopy, just through a small endoscopy, we can treat most of your we can able to tackle your bariatric related complications. That means we can able to put a balloon inside your stomach, or we can do a sleeve gastrectomy, which is means we will put a wrap inside. We will through endoscopy itself we can able to tackle without any major surgery. We can able to reduce your stomach size, and we can able to reduce your weight reasonably well. So there are so much of interventions, so much of bariatric procedures and interventions has been improved and has been developed in the field of gastroenterology. And next to that, if you are going to develop any cirrhosis, always remember that cirrhosis is nothing but the shrunken state of the liver. How will you diagnose? So if you are going to land up in cirrhosis, you may have jaundice, which is nothing but, as I have mentioned to you many times in my previous video, if you are going to develop jaundice, your eyes is going to become yellowish in color. You may develop yellowish discoloration of your eyes. You may have high colored urine. You may have abdominal distension, which is nothing but ascites, which is nothing but a fluid. Plenty of proteins, plenty of fluids is going to be in your abdominal cavity, and you may have weight loss. Your limbs is going to become thinned out, your chest is going to become thinned out, and abdomen is going to be swollen out. And you may have pedal edema, which means swelling in the legs. You may have scrotal edema, which means you have so much of other complications you may develop. And finally, you may have blood vomiting, you may have brain coma, the brain function is going to go down, and it's not possible for you to lead a normal life. You are going to land up in cirrhosis. And finally, what is the modality of treatment once if the patient develops cirrhosis? There is no medical management strong enough to take care of cirrhosis. Once a patient develops cirrhosis, the final modality of treatment is nothing but liver transplant. Plenty of modalities is there in liver transplant. We can go for living donor, we can go for a cadaveric liver transplant. So many modalities are there, but over the quality of life if you are going for liver transplant. So if you are going for a liver transplant, even prior to the transplant, even post transplant, your quality of life is definitely going to come down. It's a great social stigmata. You couldn't able to do your routine work, you couldn't able to go for your work activities. So much of complications will be there. Even after the liver transplant, you need to be on medications for a long time. So you need to be in strict gastro support and gastro care for a long time, and economical support is needed if you are planning to go for liver transplant. We all should know that the cost of liver transplant is almost going up to 30 to 40 lakhs in India. So much of issues is there. So if at all, if you want to avoid all these complications, first of all, take care of your fatty liver, report to your gastroenterologist immediately, and screen yourself early. Nowadays, even in children, the disease of NAFLD is more commonly encountered because we are seeing children who is overweight for age. Even some children is having diabetes and other problems. And if they are going to sit for a long time, keep on watching TV, eating plenty of junk foods, who are spending too much of weight for the age, even they may develop NAFLD. So always, not only for children, even for adults, I would like to state that keep on engaging yourself. Keep on engaging. Don't sit idly for a long time. So if you are a high work professional, if you are going to do any other job, don't have a sedentary lifestyle, because if you are going to sit in a place for more than 15 to 20 minutes ideally for a lengthy duration, you are going to land up in other problems. You may have cardiovascular problems, you may have obesity, you may develop diabetes. Always keep on engaging, keep on moving, and don't sit ideally for a long time. That is the most important entity to prevent even the major cardiovascular morbidity, because you should know that if you are going to develop NAFLD, the most common cause of death is not only because of the liver, It is also secondary to a cardiovascular illness. Your diabetes is going to affect your circulatory system. Your diabetes is going to affect your cardiovascular also. So complete cardiac knockout is going to happen. So always, if you are having NAFLD, all the other systems is going to come down. So have a proper healthy lifestyle pattern, do good physical activity, take a good nutrition, and if you have any problem like fatty liver, report immediately to the gastroenterologist, and prevent diabetes, prevent hypertension and other major complications. Do more exercising, that is the most important thing if you want to avoid the complications of NAFLD. If you have any problem apart from that, feel free to consult with us. Thank you all. Good night.